You know that feeling, right? You hear the music, you smell the popcorn, and you see that castle. It's a promise of pure fantasy. That's Disneyland, the happiest place on Earth. But what if I told you that in the late 1990s, that magic was completely shattered? A series of decisions put profits way ahead of people, and the cost, well, it was tragic.
I mean, Walt Disney's vision was crystal clear. The park was supposed to be a perfect escape, a bubble. And for him, safety wasn't just some line item on a budget. It was literally the foundation of the entire illusion. But that foundation, it was about to get rocked to its core.
And boy, did the real world come crashing in. That barrier between the fantasy and our reality, it just started to crumble. And this wasn't some slow decay or a freak accident. No, this was a wrecking ball swung directly from the corporate boardroom.
So that's really the big question we're tackling here. How did a place that was world famous for its incredible safety record become the scene of one preventable tragedy after another? Well, it all kicked off with a massive change in how the company thought about everything. A new leadership team came in, and suddenly, the Magic Kingdom had a brand new mantra: squeeze every single penny of profit out of the park, no matter what the risk. Okay, so this comparison really says it all. On the left, you've got the old Disneyland. They were so good at safety, they were actually called the world's best maintenance organization. Think about that. Mechanics were specialists. They knew their one or two rides like the back of their hand. Everything was about preventing problems before they happened. Then look at the right, the new way. Now mechanics just float around, budgets get slashed, and they basically shifted to a model of, we'll fix it after it breaks.
So who is driving this change? Well, meet Paul Pressler. He came from the toy industry, and he had a reputation as a serious, hard-nosed cost cutter. His mission was simple: impress the Disney board by chopping expenses. And to help him figure out how, he brought in the big guns. McKinsey & Company, one of those super prestigious consulting firms that corporations call when they want to optimize.
So, what was McKinsey's grand plan? Well, it was a strategy that, it probably looked amazing on a PowerPoint slide. But in the real world, it was an absolute disaster waiting to happen. 25%. Let that number sink in. That's what McKinsey's consultants aimed for. They wanted to slash the budget of that world-renowned maintenance division by a full quarter. And they were going to do it mainly by cutting people.
Now, to justify these huge cuts, McKinsey rolled out this very sophisticated-sounding system called Reliability-Centered Maintenance, or RCM. It's an idea they borrowed from the airline industry, and the basic pitch was, let's replace the gut feelings of experienced mechanics with cold, hard data. The logic was, hey, if a part has never failed before, why waste time and money checking it all the time? But here's the catch. According to actual experts in the field, like Marius Basson, that is a complete misuse of the entire concept. RCM is supposed to make things safer and more reliable, not just be a tool to cut costs. It's all about preventing failures. I mean, one mechanic said it perfectly. It's like an airline saying, you know what, we're not going to do pre-flight checks today because we haven't had an accident in a while. It's just insane.
And the impact on the ground was immediate and devastating. About half the maintenance staff was just gone. Most of the folks who were left got moved to the overnight graveyard shift, so you'd never see them. All that deep, specialized knowledge of each ride, poof, vanished. And when veteran employees, guys like Robert Klustreich, sent formal memos practically screaming about the dangers, they were just ignored.
It didn't take long for these decisions to stop being theoretical numbers on a spreadsheet. They became a terrifying new reality, and they were measured not in dollars saved, but in lives that were lost and ruined forever.
Just look at this timeline. It shows this horrifying pattern. In '97, Robert Klustreich sends his first warning. A year later, Lewin Dawson is killed on the Columbia sailing ship because of bad training. So Klustreich sends another warning, and they fire him for it. Then in 2000, little 4-year-old Brandon Zucker is severely injured. And finally, in 2003, the Big Thunder Mountain train derails, killing 22-year-old Marcelo Torres.
The official investigation into that final crash, well, it left absolutely no room for doubt. The cause was exactly what the employees had been warning about for years: poor maintenance and not enough training for the staff. The direct result of this new cost-cutting obsession. But here's the thing. This tragedy at Disneyland, it wasn't just about one park or one really bad set of decisions. To really get how this happened, you have to look at the bigger picture. Because for a company like McKinsey, this wasn't some isolated mistake. It was just part of the playbook.
You see, the firm has this long, well-documented history of working with some of the world's most controversial organizations. We're talking big tobacco, authoritarian regimes, you name it. And the playbook is often exactly the same. Come in, provide this veneer of sophisticated, data-driven analysis to justify decisions that put profits way, way above people.
And maybe the most haunting parallel of all is their role in America's opioid crisis. McKinsey famously advised Purdue Pharma on how to, and this is their word, turbocharge sales of OxyContin. They literally helped identify which doctors were most likely to overprescribe the drug. They even advised Purdue on how to deal with the FDA, who, you're not going to believe this, was also a McKinsey client. And when they got called out on it, what was their defense? Hey, we just give advice, we don't carry out the orders.
I mean, just look at these numbers. At Disney, the projected annual savings were about $17 million. Now put that next to the opioid crisis, a crisis that has led to over 850,000 deaths. For their role in that, McKinsey eventually paid a $600 million settlement, all while denying they were directly responsible.
So, after the tragedies, after all the investigations and the headlines, what was the real price of admission? And who was ultimately held accountable for Disneyland's darkest chapter? Okay, so let's break down who was held accountable. McKinsey, they were never sued over the Disneyland incidents and still deny any connection to what happened. Paul Pressler, the executive who hired them, he left Disney, became the CEO of Gap, and is now the chairman at eBay. It was only the Walt Disney Company itself that publicly accepted responsibility, paid settlements to the families, and, this is critical, returned the park to its old high safety standards.
And yet, after all of that, the warnings, the tragedies, the public shame, in 2022, Disney hired McKinsey again to find more cost-saving opportunities.
Which I guess brings us to the final, chilling question. The consultants move on to the next client, the executives get promoted, the corporation eventually recovers its reputation. But when the relentless pursuit of efficiency eclipses the value of a human life, and history starts to repeat itself, who is it that really pays the price?